Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about the Honor Note 10. We're going to do a quick unboxing and initial impressions of this brand new device from Honor. Overall, I've been using it for about a week now, so I'm going to share with you guys my impressions of that. But not only that, the fact of the matter is that we're borderlining tablet-sized display on a phone. Yeah, that's a thing. Let's check it out. And here you have it. This is the Note 10 with AI from Honor. Again, borderline tablet-sized display. This specific device has 128 gigs of internal storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM. There is an 8 gigabyte RAM variant of this, as well as it does support expandable storage using micro SD. First thing I want to mention to you guys, this is a Chinese variant of the device, so there's going to be a lot of Chinese writing here, but overall everything is pretty simple to figure out. So what we have in the front is a 6.95, almost 7-inch display. It's supported by 2 speakers. We actually have stereo speakers. Now this entire grill on the top only has really a speaker at the bottom part of it, and at the bottom we have 2 grills, although this one is pretty much the speaker. Still gives you that ability to basically enjoy content in stereo, as well as the fact, as I mentioned, we have that dedicated button for GPU turbo, volume rocker, as well as power button. On the left we have a slot for that nano SIM, as well as the expandable storage that we can add to this. Now this one does have 128 gigs of internal storage with 6 gigs of RAM. You can expand the storage with an SD card. The RAM you're pretty much stuck with, although there is an 8 gig variant of this if you'd like to check that out. The content of the box is pretty simple. We have a SIM removal tool, we have a free clear case, a charger that's compatible with the US, as well as the quick charging Huawei technology, a little dongle to be able to use a 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as USB-C adapter, as this does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and of course USB-C to USB-A to be able to connect for data and syncing, of course. Now looking over this device real quick with a quick comparison between that and the Note 9. This is the Note 9 6.4 inches from Samsung, and this is the Note 10 from Honor. 6.95 on the Honor, 6.4 inches, so definitely much better real estate for media consumption and doing a whole bunch more on that device. Most of you may not be aware of that the Note 10 is not the actual first Note device that Honor put out. There's a Note 8 that came out a few years ago, and this device pretty much had very similar specs. Essentially, it's a big device with a massive display, and even back then it was a massive display for its size. It's a 6.6 inch display compared to the 6.95 inch display. Now we lost a few things, obviously. The chin and forehead went away, the bezel all around that actually took out of the display is also gone. And of course now we have basically an almost bezel-less display with a dedicated GPU turbo. We did have a single camera in the back, fingerprint sensor in the top, dual tone LED flash, an SD card, as well as a SIM card tray, volume rocker, and a power button that's a little bit grazed here. On the bottom we have a USB-C connector, as well as a bottom firing speaker. We did not have stereo speakers on this device back then. Now comparing the two as far as specifications, we're looking at Android 7.0 with EMUI 5.01 on the Note 8, and what we have here is of course EMUI 9.2 with Android 8.1. Now hopefully this will get Android Pie, as I've seen some of the new betas coming out. Now as far as the chipset, we're looking at the Kirin 955 compared to the Kirin 970. So you can see the generational difference. So this is not the 970, 960, this is the 955. Now we have 6 gigs of RAM built into this, 4 gigs of RAM on this, 64 gigs of internal storage, 128 of internal storage. The screen resolution is a little bit different, as you notice. This is more of a longer display as opposed to this one more of a rectangular size. So we have a 1440 by 2560 resolution compared to the 2220 by 1080 resolution. And this is running the latest software patch as of July 1st with the security patch update. I'm looking over real quick in the system. This, as I mentioned to you guys, is the Chinese variant. So you're going to notice a lot of Chinese different applications, specifically like, the Sunning, the little dolphin, the Baidu search engine, the Weibo, as well as the maps for DU. So I did have to download and install the Google Play Service application, so Play Store, Gmail, YouTube, Google search, as well as Maps, just to be able to kind of get some things to work correctly for me in the US. Now, I did run this on AT&T and T-Mobile, and it does connect. The connection speeds are not the fastest ones, since technically this was not intended for this market, but for the most part it does run, and it gives me HSPA plus connections overall. Now, looking over some of the applications that we have here, we have Calendar, Clock, Notepad, Email, the Huawei Health, Game Center, High Lives, Themes, of course. This is just their theme engine. Well, go back here, and you're able to basically access your themes, your wallpapers, and whatever you already have installed. So I did went ahead and switch over from the Aura to the Gold Dust one. The other options that you have here, of course, is a built-in browser. Now, this is not Chrome, so you definitely need to download Chrome if you want that. And sideloading the Google Play Store was pretty simple. I just downloaded it off of APK Mirror, and then once I installed this, I was able to log in and then download all the additional apps that I want. The camera is definitely one of the main stars of this show, and it's definitely a really good front-facing camera and back-facing. Here's a quick picture I took with my son. We were going to karate, and it's really good camera. It has all the features that you'd expect. So basically we have photo, portrait, night mode, aperture mode, and of course we still have video mode, and we can go all the way up here. We can go all the way to Ultra HD, 4K video, 1080p 60 frames per second, all the way down to 720p. And of course, we have the H.265 and H.264 compatibility for the compression rate. We do have under photo AI. So this AI button came in, and I saw that with the Honor 10. It's on by default. If you don't want it, you just tap it on and it takes it off. But the cool thing about it is when you do take a picture with it, you have the ability of taking it off later. So I can disable it here. You'll notice all the colors here kind of got a little bit muted, and go with the AI. It just brightens up the image, and it just makes sure that the image is correctly done. And again, you can edit this and remove it later. So I always say if you have to take the picture with AI and then remove it later. But removing the AI gives us access to see what the maximum resolution. We have a 4x3 24 megapixel sensor capability on the back, and of course with the front-facing camera it's a little bit of a different scenario. So the maximum resolution that we have here will be the 13 megapixel of 4x3. Just keep in mind that whenever you're going through all of that, you have to disable the AI to get the option to be able to change things. Now we're using the front-facing 13 megapixel sensor. Now, unfortunately, the video is capped to 720p, so that's the maximum resolution. The other thing you can definitely do is that turbo, or the GPU turbo button that we had before, is also a really good camera shutter button. So you can definitely click that button whenever you're in the camera to be able to initiate video or take a picture. Great if you're trying to use the camera on the back. Now switching over to the back-facing sensors, we're using it at 1080p 60 frames per second, although we can go all the way up to 4K Ultra HD. I did use the GPU Turbo again button to be able to initiate the video, so that's a really good functional button outside of just it being a really good gaming button to be able to initiate the great GPU Turbo functionality there. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick audio sample. This is Alex Grinduo Jumbo. I forgot to mention to you guys in the beginning that within the toggles here, we do have the ability of turning on NFC, of course, as well as Dolby Atmos that's built into this. Screen recording, hotspot, of course, basically navigation dock, multi-screen option, as well as ultra battery saver, screenshot, flashlight, airplane mode, all the standard modes that you'd expect. But again, yes, it has NFC, has screen recording built in, and of course Dolby Atmos. And the speakers are playing straight top and bottom. So definitely the audio coming out of basically, the bottom right side and the bottom left side. And the top grill and the bottom grill are pretty much for the microphones that we have for the recording audio. But again, very, very nice. Audio playback on this thing is not going to disappoint you guys. And again, you do have that included USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack to be able to listen using your headphones. Although definitely using the speakers on this is really enjoyable. Stereo speakers built in, complementing a really big display, which you really need at this level of this size of a display. This does support Game Suite and all of its functionality. So we have the Do Not Disturb, the game acceleration for GPU Turbo, compatibility with controllers, as well as the ability of adding network optimization options. Now I'll go ahead and turn on Pubg, and I'll give it a second to load. So here we are logged in. As far as the specifications, I am running this, we'll go into graphics, Ultra with HDR, maximum with colorful option. Now we don't have Ultra HD yet, but this is definitely coming. So just from a standard point of view, and let's go ahead and turn on the GPU Turbo button. There's this capture real quick for Do Not Disturb, screen recording, and of course turning on Turbo mode, which now gives us the ability to get the 40 to 60 frames per second gameplay. Let's go ahead and lower the volume slightly, just so that it doesn't overpower my volume, and then we'll go ahead and start the game. So we're going to go ahead and wait till the airplane mode jumps in. This seems like it's one of the new maps, so we'll go ahead and keep going, running. We'll go ahead and keep it on lock run. You can see basically no frame drops, nothing, no issues at all. Again, normally at this point in the game, a lot of people will start jumping in and we'll usually get some type of frame drop. But again, GPU Turbo is turned on. I have it on. I have the brightness control, and I do also have screen recording off at this point. I did record a game before that I did play about 25 minutes. But if I want to start it, just click the button, say microphone, and then you'll notice there's a little bit of a counter on the top left here with the stop option. So it'll keep recording till we're done. And I do have my speaker turned off right now that I can keep it onto the team. And then of course I can listen to my team and then configure that. Let's go ahead and turn it off right now just for the speaker. And then once we're ready to jump, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick walk around. Oh, one of the other guys are down. But again, you can see this exactly how the graphics are. Very nice. I did choose, again, the highest level settings that allows me with the best colorful options that I can get out of it. Overall, really, really good. Let's go ahead and just jump out. I'm going to show you guys a real quick recording of one of the gameplays that I did before. So this was a recording from another video that I did, and it was about 25 minutes. So I had a chance to play with some of my buddies there, and we definitely dominated. And I think at the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, I actually got killed. But again, really good gameplay, really good functionalities. That GPU turbo just knocks it out of the park. This device has a 5,000 milliamp battery built into it to power all of the stuff that I showed you today, and even more. There's a lot more applications in there, as I mentioned to you guys. This is the Chinese variant, and you can switch the language over to English, as well as install Google Play services, the Play Store and app and all of that stuff directly on this device. And it was super easy. I just went to APK Mirror, downloaded that, installed it, and I was able to access all my services here in the US. It does work on AT&T and T-Mobile in the US as GSM carriers. No LTE, unfortunately, so HSBA Plus, depending on the area that you're in. So just keep that in mind. It's not slow, but it's not going to give you LTE. That's the only thing. It's not branded for the US. It is available through Amazon on third-party sellers, so you can definitely check out the link in the description. I would say if you've ever used an Honor device, just that's the point of reference. If you've ever used an Honor device, this is the best that you can expect from Honor at this point. Because it takes everything that you had before, adds that button that we don't have it on any other device, stereo speakers, Dolby Atmos, and a 5,000 milliamp battery, as well as the Kirin 970, of course, and great optics for that AI, as well as the AIS camera that we have in the back. So I'm really, really happy with this. I love this device. I want to say thank you very much to Honor again for letting me check this out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have you known about the Note devices, specifically, let's say the Note 8, as well as the Note 10 that it's been around? Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. Share this video with any of your friends that may not have known about the Note 10. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video.